What's up, everybody? My name's AJ, and I'm here because I want to change the world. I want to change the world, and the way to change the world is by changing enough people's lives, right? So my goal is to help you change your life. Everything that I go over are things that I've read about, things that I've asked questions about, that have helped me change my life. And I have a very strong feeling that, if we follow the same things, that other people will be able to change their lives too, right? So today's class is about questions. Questions. I didn't find this out until 7 years into my journey. 7 years. It took me a long time to figure this out because I didn't know. I had subconsciously, I kind of understood this, but I wasn't actively thinking about it. And if this is something that you realize and you start actively thinking about, you'll be able to change your life much faster. For me, when I was in the process of changing my life, changing my situation, changing myself, I was going through the process, but I was kind of like wandering my way through. I was figuring it out as I went. And this is one of those things that can help. It could set you 7 years ahead of where I was. Absolutely. So today we're going to talk about questions and how the questions that we ask directly affect the life that we live, right? The questions that we ask, the answers that we find will directly affect the life that we live. And I'm going to show you how to ask these questions for yourself to get your own answers. What we need to realize is that our brains are kind of like Google. Right? What happens when you ask Google a question, it comes out with a bunch of answers. Our brains are the same, right? If I asked my brain, what color is the sky today? It's blue. Blue. My brain will tell me blue. It's not going to tell me another answer. It's going to tell me it's blue. If I say, what time is it? Comes up with the time. If I say, what color is the grass? Green. Right? So our brains are designed to answer the questions that we ask it. Now, what we need to be careful of is that the questions that we ask can either make our lives better, and they could be productive questions that keep us moving forward, or they could be negative questions that bring us down further and keep us further from attaining our goals. And I didn't know this because sometimes a lot of the questions that we ask are subconscious. We don't pay attention to the questions that we ask. And we may not even realize that this is drastically affecting the way we view life. And it could be the reason why, we're not as happy as we could be. We're not feeling as much love as we could be. So the questions of your life, the questions that you ask for your life are going to directly impact the feelings and the fulfillment and the joy that you reach. The questions that we ask have the opportunity to change your life. I'm going to show you how, and in different areas too. So the first thing, questions help determine ourselves. What questions do we ask ourselves that is going to lead us to where we want to go? And I'll give you an example. When I was on my journey, I failed so many times. It just kept seeming like failure. And honestly, it felt like I was not making any progress. It seemed like I was going backwards. And, I would look at it and I'd say, why did I fail? Why did I fail? And my brain would say, because you're stupid. Because you're not good enough. People don't like you. You're not funny. You're not special. Nobody cares. This is what my brain would come up with. That's how I felt for a long time. So why did I fail? I say, why did I fail? My brain's like, who are you thinking? What were you thinking anyway? Do you think this is you? That's not you. Right? What's another question that we could ask? If somebody loaned you $10, right? I was going to start a lemonade stand. and they're like, I'll give you $10 to go, to go buy your stuff, to go buy the lemonade stuff, and give me the change. And I could go to the store, right? I buy lemons, water, ice, everything, and say it comes out to $5. I spent $5. It's just an example, not with today's inflation. But say I spent $5, and I go back to the person and I say, hey, look, all of this, it cost me $10. I spent all $10. I'm sorry, I don't have any change for you. Can that impact our lives? Right? If we think about it, it's a question. It's like, should I keep the $10 for myself, or should I give the $5 back? It's a question of honesty. Should I keep the $10, or should I give $5 back? And people think, well, you know what? It's $5, right? It's $5. The person gave you $10 anyway. Yeah, it's fine. Keep it. Who cares? It's $10. The thing is, when we ask ourselves these questions, when it's small time, the small things matter. The small things matter, because if you don't do it right now, if $5 is tempting, imagine when it's $1 million. Should I keep the $1 million for myself, or should I do the right thing? What should you do? And you know what you're going to say? Well, with my lemonade stand, I kept the $10. Let me keep the $1 million. Right? So we need to be aware that, these questions that seem insignificant about ourselves determine who we are and who we're going to be. Because, when you ask yourself that question the second time and the third time, if we keep answering it the same way, it's creating a habit. It's creating a habit, and that's going to determine who we are. Right? So that's how questions can impact yourself. Right? And like I was saying with why did you fail? Because I'm stupid. Right? Because I didn't deserve it. There's a better way to answer that question. Why did I fail? Because failure is a part of the process. You're going to fail. It's going to happen. Right? But how we determine to answer the questions is what impacts our life. Because if I said, well, I'm stupid, what was I thinking? I'm never going to be that person. I'd give up. And a lot of people do give up because they ask the question, they get these horrible answers, they feel worse about themselves, and then they give up. And it's horrible. It's sad. And I almost did too. So that's how questions can impact yourself. How can questions impact a relationship? How can it impact our relationships with other people? Just the questions that we ask in our brains, in our minds. One question is, say you're with a partner and they're like, man, they just don't talk. Why don't they communicate? Why aren't they communicating? Why are they so, why don't they talk to me? Do they not care? They don't care. They must be, because they don't care. Right? No. It's the wrong question. I mean, we could ask, how come they're not communicating? We could approach it with an empathetic standpoint, for wanting to care, but we come up with the wrong answers. Say, oh, they don't care. If they don't care, I'm not going to care either. And now we're creating this different pattern of a relationship. It's a completely different pattern, because I'm saying they're not communicating, I'm not going to care. And then this person's going to be like, well, they don't care, they don't do anything. Well, this person, it's a bad pattern. It's a bad mental pattern. And it all starts with the questions that we're asking. Right? So for a relationship, what other questions can we ask? What different types of questions can we ask? A question that I find myself asking is, how can I be the best partner that I could be? How can I be the best friend that I could be? How can I be the best son that I could be? How can I be the best brother that I could be? Right? I'm not saying, oh, they don't care, their communication's horrible, blah, blah, or whatever the issue is. Right? I say, what can I do better? What can I do better? Because you know what? I can't control what they do. As much as I think that I can try to control what they do, I can't. What I can control is what I think, what I do, and that's what I'm going to try to improve on. right? And I can listen to them and see how they're feeling and understand and ask questions and try to get a better understanding. And then I can ask myself, okay, so what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Are we going to keep going on in this pattern of fighting? Or can we both decide to be the best that we can be? Can we both decide to try? And that's how questions can change relationships. If you're fighting with a friend, you're both fighting, you're both mad at each other. They disrespected me, this person disrespected me. If both people approach it by saying, what can I learn from this? What can I learn? How can I be a better friend in the future? I'm sorry if you feel hurt, but what can I do to be a better person in the future? Because I want to be the best friend that I can be. I want to be the best that I can be. I'm sorry you feel that way. Please tell me how I can make it better. Instead of saying, oh, why are they so dramatic? Oh, my friend, they're so dramatic. Why do they cause so much issues? I say, how can I be better? And the thing is, for relationships to truly get better, you both need to be asking the same question, right? Because if one person says, how can I be better? How can I be the best that I could be? And the other person saying, like, why are they never doing enough? Why don't they care? If people are asking two separate questions, it's not going to be a great relationship. So by getting both people on the same page, by asking the same questions, you could immensely influence your relationships. Even if you just start asking the right questions for yourself, more productive questions instead of unproductive questions. Asking more productive questions will help you navigate it and influence it. You might not have control over it, but it'll help you influence the situation more because you're taking more control of yourself. You're asking questions, what can I do about this, instead of why are they the way they are? Okay, does that make sense? Cool. Money. How can questions affect the income that we have, the money that we have? Right? What I realized is that many people ask the wrong questions about money, right? Because if we think about it, go back, our brains are like Google. It's designed to give us answers that we ask it. So if I set that, this is why if you listen to law of attraction, if you listen to, trying to get abundance and everything will tell you this. You need to be specific. You need to you have to ask. You need to be specific. What amount of money do you want by when? Right? Because because our brains are like Google. That's what it is. Our brains are like Google. It will answer the question that we ask. So if I say, I need more money, right? I go find a $10 bill on the ground. I got more money. Good, right? Question answered. But we need to be specific, because when I asked myself, I said, I want more money. What can I do? What can I do to get more money? What can I do to become more valuable? How can I make more money? And my brain said, do real estate, right? Do something else on the side, or apply for another job with more money, right? Those were ways that, because I was asking, how can I make more money? My brain said, here's how you can make more money. But is it really what I wanted? Did I want another job? Did I want to do real estate on the side and work 2 jobs? Did I want that? Did I really want to go to a different job? No, because I wanted my freedom. I wanted financial freedom. I wanted to work for myself, live life. I didn't want to be tied down to another job. It's not what I wanted, but I was asking the wrong question, right? So the question that I should have been asking was, how can I be financially free? How can I make $1 million? Not how can I make more money? How can I make $1 million? How can I make $10 million? If you ask, how can I make more money? My brain will say Uber. If you ask yourself, how can I make $1 million? Is your brain still going to say work Uber on the side? No, of course not. Of course not. Our brains are designed to give us answers to the questions that we ask. So ask better questions. Formulate better questions. Don't just ask, how can I make more money? How can you make $1 million? How can you become financially free? How can you take care of your family for an entire lifetime? Because it's possible. It's possible. We also need to realize that, The first answer that we think of might not always be the best answer. The first answer that we think of might not always be the best answer. Sometimes it's 20 down on the list, and I tried them all. I said, how can I make more money? I tried this, I tried that, I tried this, I tried getting lucky, I tried doing that. These are all answers that my brain said. I said, nope, that's not going to work, 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 that's not going to work. I'm keeping going. I'm still asking the question. And you know what? I will find the answer. If I keep asking the question, I will find the answer, and the same's for you. So what do you want? Are you willing to try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things? Ask the question 10 times to get the answer. But you will find it. If you keep asking, you will find the answer that you're looking for. The answer that works for you and no one else. The answer that works for you to help you get what you want. We also, the answers that we find, we need to believe that these are possible. We need to believe it's possible. Because if I say, how can I make extra money? And you know what? My brain said, start a business, be a life coach, right? These little things that I heard, kind of in like the back of my head, my brain goes, nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. I answered it. I said, nah, that's not an option. I can't make $1 million that way. I can't get rich that way. I can't change my life that way. I crossed it off the list before I even tried it. Think of how many answers that we get that we cross off the list before we even try, because we don't believe that the answer is possible, right? So don't think it's not possible. Open your horizons and see what is possible, right? And when you ask yourself, ask, is it possible? Don't say, can I do it? Is it possible? Can someone do it? Yes. And if someone can do it, you can too. If someone else can do it, you can too. Don't limit yourself, because I've been there. I limited myself for the past 7 years, and it ultimately kept me from getting where I wanted to be. It was a waste of time. It was a great journey of learning, education, figuring out who I was, but it wasted a lot of time getting to where I wanted to be in life and to accomplishing the things that I wanted to and fulfilling my purpose. Right? So how I want to end is, we need to recognize the power of the questions that we ask and the answers that we're getting. Are the questions that we're asking, is it making it feel good about ourselves and giving us hope, possibility, or is it making us feel worse about ourselves and discouraging us and making us feel worse? Start changing the questions that you ask, and you'll get different answers. Change the question, change the answer. Get a different answer. The worst thing is to get the same answer all through life and to have nothing change, right? Don't we want things to change? Especially if you're not feeling too good about things about yourself. Don't you want that to change? It starts by asking different questions. Same thing with our relationships. How do you want to better your relationships? If you want to better your relationship, what question are you asking? If you want to better your financial situation, which questions are you asking? And that'll help you get to where you want to be, right? So if we can ask the right questions, we could provide a much better direction for the things that we want to accomplish and the things that we want to achieve in life. All right. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you got some value from the video. If you did get some value from the video, I ask that you like the video, subscribe to the page, right? And I'm here because I want to help change lives. I want the world to be a better place. All right. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next lesson.